Hi, Aquarius. How are you? Okay, welcome to the space, whether you're new or returning. Alright, so before we jump in your cards, two little things. So one, there's something about doing something different with your home, or maybe being aware of like what comes in and out of your space. Most of you probably have a very eclectic home too, right? Or there's something about that, like maybe recognizing the uniqueness in what you create. Okay. Just a second. So, I just received this beautiful gift from my mother, which actually was my great-grandmother's. It's called the Jewel Cookbook. My great-grandmother was born in 1892. She was a Taurus Gemini cusp, I guess. But anyway, this book is from 1890, so even 2 years older than her. But it comes also with a book of knowledge in the back, which is really lovely. A manual for every household. And it basically tells you how to do everything. But I saw the number 219 for you. Let's see. Most of this is recipes, which I actually really love the way that they are. You know, there's no like... the technicality is different in this. 219. What's on that page? Okay, we have lemon toast, a dish of snow whipped cream, omelet for dessert, and jelly fritters. Well, it says between. All these recipes are better when prepared, in which a little water is added to prevent danger of burning. So a little emotion is needed in between all these spaces, right? A little water. And what are waterways? They show boundaries, right? So, lemon toast, let's read that one. It says, take the yolk of 6 eggs, beat them well, and add 3 cups of sweet milk. Take baker's bread, not too stale, and cut into slices. Dip them into the milk and eggs, and lay the slices into a spider with sufficiently melted butter. Hot. To try a nice delicate, brown. Take the whites of 6 eggs and beat them to a froth, adding a large cup of white sugar. Add the juice of 2 lemons, heating well, and adding 2 cups of boiling water. Serve over the toast as a sauce, and you will find it a very delicious dish. Isn't that lovely? And look how there's no, like 3 cups. Oh, here it is. Oh, sorry. You can take a snapshot. It's not so technical. Like some of them even just say, and bake. And, you have to figure out, like, well, what would that be according to what I've already done and what I already know, right? Well, what? Okay, I'm baking bread bakes for this long, etc. Beautiful though, right? Oh, I did see this a little too. Maybe you are ruled by Saturn, so paying attention to your joints, to I guess water in between, I also saw as like movement in your ligaments, you know what I mean, or movement, and also keeping them warm if you are in a colder time, make sure you wear your mittens. be kind to yourself, right? Be soft. You're allowed to take care of yourself. I heard don't be stubborn. Okay, let's see where you... Okay, where you've been. Interesting. Where are you? Oh, fascinating. Okay. Okay, so wherever you have been has accumulated a great reward, which gives you some sort of security in your own backing to where you stand. It's almost like the wind at your back, but instead of that, it's actually, there's a person. It's like there's a physical thing there where if you ever were to fall or needed to, you have a physical support, again, to hold you up. But you have to conquer something first before you receive the physical expression of that reward. Does this make sense, Aquarius? For some of you, this could have to do with a habit. We talked about this last month too, right? Like letting go of a physical thing, like a tangible thing. The thing that you think makes you feel comfortable. Did you go without that? This would be a nice time to also test that some. Doesn't have to be, I heard, forever and infinite, but take some space and time away from things, you know? Even if it's just, I heard something about, like, delayed satisfaction. You know, before maybe you want to do the thing, do something else that you know you need to do, and then do the thing that you want to do. I heard this will make you more productive and more of who you would like to become. Whatever you're tangled up with right now, too, or whatever there's a little bit of where there's some stagnancy between things, this is kind of a repeat. So you have knowledge here on how to deal with it. So I guess don't be surprised by something that you already know. Do you know what I mean? I mean, maybe you're looking at something where you're like, man, how did I not know? You know, something like that. And then I saw the word habit again. What's a habit? Is that what nuns wear? Is that what they call it? A habit? Okay, just a minute. Okay, so you have different opportunities right now to choose, right? I see that it's good to think about your future right now. Like, what are your choices for the future? And I almost feel like that spider that they talked about in the lemon toast. Lemon toast. That's kind of what I saw, was like you standing there, and you have a lot of opportunities here, which I guess could feel a little overwhelming. But you're meant to reconsider, because now has a lot to do with the future. And I actually see under the surface, there's a lot of love there. There's a lot of creation that's been happening under the surface in a very respectable way. Good girl, Zumi. Hi, baby. Let's keep going, and then we'll choose the next one if we need to. What have you been learning about? There haven't been that many wasps this year. It's cool to see one. Okay, You've been learning about the King of Cups. So this is about emotional awareness. Emotional maturity. Some of you, this could be about drinking. Because although it's a Scorpio card, and we're in Scorpio time when I'm recording this, it's also a Piscean card in a way. So this could, and I see that sort of in your challenge as a little Pisces energy. So we actually saw someone being a little frustrated and not attending to their, like not achieving something maybe as quickly. Maybe you're a bit frustrated. Well, I heard, what do you believe love to be? And I heard something about what is the love that you know within your family tree? Let's see your next step. Okay, some counsel would be good. I also see you doing something on your own. But something needs to be put in order first. Like that challenge needs to be overcome that we talked about before, you cutting yourself free of something, or like the confusion or whatever is a little murky, emotionally especially, needs to be settled before you can go to the next step, which has more to do with other people. Maybe it's a place where you do something kind of the hard way. Could also be taking a little bit of time to wherever you know that you are challenged. You're like, okay, this is challenging for me to do. It could be something as super simple, but whatever it is, it's a part of your day, which makes your reality. So whatever that is, putting some extra energy into it, and I actually see some like positive energy where you're like, okay, I know this is difficult for me, but I'm going to do this, right? And I'm gonna be appreciative while I do this, because when you don't like something, when someone doesn't like something, it's like when you're in high school and your English professor gives you a book to read, but you're not really interested in the content. But if you receive a book that you enjoy the author's expression, etc., and it's easy for you to make a movie, right? It's going to be, you can blast right through it and you have a great time. But it's weird because they're both books, right? So there's something about, okay, even though, say you receive, there's the challenge is this book that or this whatever. I mean, maybe you want to ask yourself, like, why do I have a hard time with this? What does this have to do with? Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of conversation. There's 2 7s on the board. I feel like around your birthday, if you do, between now and your birthday, it would be a nice time for you to ask for guidance also. And then maybe where you kind of feel like you do need help with something, just kind of see if you can do it yourself. But if you're one of those overly, because there's independence and then interdependence, right? Which is where you work together. You know, for instance, some of you need help with something. That's part of the lesson, and some of you need to do it alone to figure it out. There's probably a bit of this on both ends. This is also like a surf Pisces thing too. Interesting. What will you be learning about? What's your 3 of Wands? Which is a person looking out at the sea. Interesting. What do you believe right now? I heard, are you giving excuses to something? What are you giving... Whoa. What are you giving excuses to? Oh, this is my alarm that says, dance, pray, intentionally. Hold on. Okay. That was for you, Aquarius. Oh, weird. This went to the compass. Look at that, without me even doing it. What? Wait, what did we say, 219? What direction is that? Hold on. Southwest. A little more south than west, but almost smack dab in the middle. Interesting. Southwest. Well, I guess this is where something about the inner child also starts to grow up, right? What are you afraid of? High Priestess, whoa, how to solve that. You know, because no one can pull, like, I heard no one can pull anything over on you. Really? But you can trick yourself. Do you know what I mean? You're actually recorded on your opposite. Leo was on the same day as you, your opposite. So I do feel as if they also had the Empress there, and I feel like it was real strong when it came out. That was what's in their fear, and this for you is in your subconscious, which is actually interesting as a combination, that there's a subconscious fear here of something having to do with love, in a way, or expression. Could even be faith for some of you sometimes. Maybe it's also finding comfort in not having. But realize that you're never lacking. How much time do you spend alone? Hi, baby. Just a minute. I see it's good to stay in the middle. Like, try not to... It's reminding me of a bird. You know what I mean? There's like a right wing and a left wing. But it's one bird. You know what I mean? So not too much on one end or the other. It's about working. I see it's about working together. And there's a triangle here too, so Scorpio's reading will also be helpful. It is during their time frame. Your season too, Aquarius to Scorpio, is 9 months, which is a kind of like growth or birth cycle, right? Many animals work in the cycle. We work in the cycle. Garlic does lots of things that take, there's a time frame here. So if you have been working on anything in a way that has been an internal process, I feel like externally this is now going to feel better. Like that energy is going to move, or something from now until May also. Yeah. Nine of Cups with the Pisces card. Remember, when you detach from anything, yes, you have less than something, but it also gives more space. But when I said less than something, it made my heart get really tight. What are you afraid of losing? Emperor. With the Empress, you don't... Or what was it that you lost that made you really upset? And lost is such an interesting word when we say it. We say it in so many different ways that don't really make sense. Because whenever we lose something, if you will, it helps us find something else. Right? Find what we need, what we don't need. Hermit. And remember again, whenever healing too, or like working through, again, internal processes, it will always feel a little empty at first, right? So I see, don't judge yourself too much for that. Just remember that you're intentionally fill those spaces. And remind yourself that if it ever does feel a bit empty or what have you, like there's too much space in between, well, that you're safe and loved and protected, that you have, I know all of you, you have what you need. Should we pick one more recipe? Yeah, Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, let's do that. Oops. Good girl. Maybe you want to take some areas of life and talk to yourself, or write it down. Like, I heard, find some objects that represent what you believe about that. Like about money, about sex, about children. Like what do you believe about these different parts of life? Death, life, whatever. This will help you. And I do feel as if, let's take it again, like say it's a baby donkey being born. They're 9 months also. Just like a human, like when something is in the physical, becomes a physical reality at first, it's sensitive, right? There's something brand new. It's a sensitive thing. And so it needs to, will not be affected by too much that's around it. So this may also be a nice time for you to go within, because if there's anything built up in there, and I do feel like there is some, like that buildup could kind of, well, I see explodo, and you know, so I see you deal with what's going on in the undercurrent so that it doesn't spill over unnecessarily into certain areas of life, but that also doesn't mean hold that all in and be like a rock with it. It's like allow yourself some space to be vulnerable when no one else is around. That's when you're going to really that's how you figure out how you feel anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, of course you could find it through other people's connections, but the depth of it, you're going to find it on your own. You know what I mean? And I told you actually in your yearly reading is Aquarius, there's a lot about therapy or counseling or what have you. If you chose to do that for yourself, well, congratulations. It's a very vulnerable thing. If you chose to do it for yourself, which the reading also expressed, because you're stubborn and probably a little afraid to be that open and vulnerable, or particular anyway, with whom you share that with, then you had to do extra work because it's just you doing it in a way versus you having another person helping you. So well, I see for the next 2 months, like, really be conscientious of your space and time. And your opposite Leo talked about this too. So both of you being on the same page to me, yes, Ace of Swords and the Judgment is calling a particular, it's like, okay, here, you know, there isn't like a conflicting, like one side of you is this and one is that. It's like, no, both sides are like, all right, I need some time, right? Two of Cups. And of course, whoever's in your life, and well, they're going to be understanding of that, and if they're not, well, that's a different story, right? Let's do one more recipe, Aquarius. Or should we go to the Book of Knowledge? Oh, Book of Knowledge, okay. Aquarius. Goodness. Okay, we have Everton Taffy. It says, to make this favorite and wholesome candy, take 1.5 pounds of moist sugar, 3 ounces of butter, 1 teacup and a half of water, and 1 lemon. Boil the sugar, butter, water, and half of the rind of the lemon together. And when done, which will be known by dropping into cold water, when it should be quite crisp, let it stand aside till the boiling has ceased, and then stir in the juice of the lemon. Butter a dish and pour it in about 1/4 inch in thickness. The fire must be quick, and the taffy stirred all the time. I love it. They have some really cool things in here. How to make waterproof porous cloth. A cold cement for mending earthenware. Bruises on furniture. That's beautiful, right? We wouldn't call it that now. Ah, this is a good one. To prevent iron rust. Kerosene applied to stoves or farming implements during summer will prevent their rusting. Oh, this is funny. It says the hunter's secret. To catch game such as mink, muskrats, weasels, raccoons, otter, etc., take 1 ounce of valerian, which is where we get Valium from. 1 ounce of valerian. Love that song. 1/4 ounce of commercial musk. Not sure what that's about. 1 pint of whiskey. Mix it together and let it stand for 2 weeks. Put a few drops of this on your bait. So, mink, muskrats, weasels, raccoons, otters, etc., they all like a little whiskey. Jeez, I'm crow. I love you, Aquarius. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a friend. And I see that too, that even friends need time. Or, I guess whatever you're going through also, anyone who I see is close to you, right, in your circle, what have you, near or far, they're probably going through some stuff too. That's why we find each other, right, so that we can kind of all heal together, or help each other figure it out. So thank you for being here and wanting to, yes, you know, figuring out more I guess the magic of life, you know, or the, wanting to fix the parts of you, you know, learn more about you, learn more about life, learn more about magic, you know. And I would also say, what do you believe, because Aquarius can be a bit scientific or literal at times, like, what do you believe about invisible things too? Like your faith, like, where does faith come from? I mean, even love is invisible, right? Like, where does love, I heard, what is love, you know? And I see, if you do need to take that time, or you take that time, I see people understanding. And if they don't, well, that's their deal. But I see, don't expect anyone to read your mind. Okay? You have to tell people why maybe you're doing what you're doing, or at least what you need. You know what I mean? What is needed for you, for family, whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe you want to sit down and talk about the options, or think about them first and then have this conversation with others. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I do see Leo's reading could be of service if you'd like to go there. Alright, I love you so much. Thank you for all your support. I do hope this reading was of service. And happiest now. And I'll talk to you next time. Peace out.